Welcome back to 13C. We're out today here on the Hacienda. We got a bunch of different things cooking right now, videos we're working on. Liberty Constitution Suppressor will be out next. But I wanted to take a minute to talk about one of the newer lights we had in from OLight, the Baldr RL. It's basically like a PL2 light, but it has the red laser underneath. That's where the RL designation comes from. It's a bright light, 1120 lumens, and then it's got the 5 milliwatt red laser underneath here. 240 meter throw rating. OLight sent this out, full disclosure, OLight sent this out for us to do some testing. We've kind of been knocking around a little bit, and one of the bigger things is, since we've got the ability here to be able to shine out up to 450 yards here on the property, testing some of the light, how much the actual throw does, and as well as how far you can pick up that red laser is one of the reasons why they sent this out to us. So after we're done, if we don't break it, we're going to hold on to this thing and keep on using it since they've got one of their little flash sale deals coming up here in another day or two. So we're going to get this one out ahead of time. If you want to stick around for a couple more videos, we'll throw this in there for some longer term use, and you can see how those play out. What you see here is my Galil Ace 556 with that Liberty Suppressor's Constitution on the end here. It's a monolithic can. Alloy steel, complete 100% alloy steel. It's a bit of a tank, but it is rated for anything, including this 8.3 inch barrel. Full auto fire. This thing is a beast. We've been giving it hell. Definitely stick around if you want to see a really economically priced can that is a tank and you can beat the hell out of. This is going to be a video you're going to want to check out, and that should drop just a day or two after what you're seeing here, because we may get this up tonight or tomorrow morning, whatever the case is. Anyway, back onto the light. It's 14,000 candela, and it's a light intensity, and it's got a neutral white LED. Comes in at about 4.5 ounces. It has a QD lever on the side here. You can replace the inner plate just like the other ones for either a Glock or pick rail. The Glock one you can use on a pick rail. It's actually, I still have the Glock one on here right now. It clamps on so tight that if you just slide it forward before you clamp it down, it's not moving on here. So if you're worried about translation and you want to be lazy, you don't feel like swapping out the plate, you can do that if you got a solid rail mounted up on the bottom of there. Speaking of which, this is the RS Regulate rail on the side here, the GAR 6MN that we're using on our Galil Ace here. Like most of these high output lights, your level 1, your 1120 lumens on here is going to run for 1 minute, then it'll step itself down to prevent overheating, and then give you a run time up to 120 minutes with the laser off. On, and then with the laser off, you get an extra 5 minutes of run time for it over that 120 to 125 minutes. So obviously the laser is taking a very small draw on here. How long the laser will run if you don't run the light, I have no idea. At this point, I don't have a plan to test that. Lasers to me have a very limited use. If you're the person who likes those applications, so far I've seen good things out of this laser. We've shined it out and tested it out to 250 yards so far. You can pick it on green foliage. At night, it's a little hard to pick up once you get to that about 250 yard mark. If you're shining it on tree trunks, side of a building, something like that, 250 yards, you're gonna have no problem picking up this laser in the dark. Out to 250-ish. Beyond that, it's going to depend on your eyes. If you're looking through like a magnified optic, maybe be able to see it better. But just looking like through a red dot, for example, 250 is about as far as you're going to get under ideal conditions, in my opinion, with that laser at night. During the day, obviously, you're going to be much shorter because you're limited to how bright things are, the color, your background, everything else. It's the same thing that you're finding with any of the lasers. Like I said, to me, lasers have a very limited role, but if it's something, especially a visible laser, but if you're into that sort of thing, this is a fairly solid, decent combo here. I've had fun with it so far. It's IPX4 rated, so what that means is basically splashing water for 10 minutes. In my opinion, that's rain resistant, basically rain, maybe even bordering on rain proof. You got this thing hanging under a rifle or a gun in class all day, you shouldn't have any issues with water egress into this, coming off the rain and stuff like that. I would not submerge it because it's not rated for that. It takes 2 CR123 batteries. As far as lighting purposes, you push and hold on the side here, it turns it on. You release, it'll turn it off. You tap it, it'll be on. So you've got a momentary and an on, and then if you hit both of them at the same time, you go with strobe. you pick that up in the daylight? Oh, yeah, I got on laser. There we go. All right, so you've got on, and then if you push and hold it, release it. Momentary, push them both, strobe. This is a pretty bright light. Like I said, 1120 lumens. The throw rating on the light itself is rated to 1100 or 240 meters. Testing this out last night, and we'll get it out here again tonight. It just came in 30 hours ago, roughly, so this is not a exclusive testing type of video or anything else. Just trying to get this out to you ahead of that, and then we're going to do our long-term testing. We'll follow up on social media, and we'll include it in videos like Liberty Constitution and stuff like that. This is really kind of my go-to home defense package right now. Small, compact, quiet, and at least as quiet as you're going to get for full-powered 5.56, pretty much. You know, I have an 8.3-inch barrel, you know, yada yada. We've gone through that in our silencer videos before. You know, just how loud a silencer is versus Hollywood. We won't get into all that here. In any event, we'll put some links for that down below. I think they're going to bundle it with an i5T light. I think it's the EOSCU. It's copper edition. The copper lights are kind of cool. They're I don't know, they're limited edition. They look coppery. They're kind of cool. I've got one that's, I don't know, a year and a half old, and from carrying around, it's actually got a pretty neat patina on it as it's gotten older. Takes a AA light. I think it'll go for like 20 hours, whatever. You'll find the links down below. We'll link to it down there. If you have any questions about this, feel free to leave them down below. We'll roll in some different footage of me shooting this thing on handguns, rifles, stuff like that. And then we'll get some low light stuff tonight. The distance for shooting at night, the light, we'll put up some pictures of that. It's about 250 yards to a building that I shined it on last night, across the field, trying to test out that 240 meter throw rating, if you will. And I would say 240 is definitely them being, you know, maybe erring on a little bit of the side of, at least on full power anyway, on the side of being a little conservative there, which is nice. 250 yards, not a problem at all. Really illuminating, you know, whatever you're shining it on in that area, and being able to make out what you're shining it on. So it's got a really, for this size and for its light pattern distribution, it throws a lot of light at good distance. So that's nice to see. It's a semi-hot center with not a whole lot of outside throw out of that. Obviously, as you get bigger, the center gets bigger, but it's just enough to be usable on your outer edges, and then that nice hot center that you would want in a light like this. So it's concentrating that light directly on what you're showing it on, as opposed to something that's more diffused. So again, that's nice to see. Won't take up any more of your time. Facebook.com/gunreviews. Instagram, we're at 13C Gun Reviews. Leave those comments down below. Facebook.com is a great place to leave your comments and questions, stuff like that. YouTube notifications are notoriously, they suck. They're horrible. Sometimes I'll see your comment immediately and I'll be able to respond to it. Sometimes I don't see or come across your comment till months later. When somebody else makes a comment, I click on that one to go respond to it, and then I see there's one right underneath it. So if you wonder why some of those things happen, that's just why it's YouTube. At this point, we've got, I don't no idea, 120, 50, 70, 100, 200, I don't know, somewhere in that range of videos, and it's just impossible for us to try and keep up on all those in a timely fashion the way YouTube puts those notifications out there. Just like everything YouTube's been doing lately, absolutely awful. So anyway, thanks. Full30.com and Gunstreamer. Follow us over there. Watch our videos there. If you don't need to watch them on YouTube, that would be awesome. We'd appreciate it. Support those smaller platforms and take some of the views at least away from YouTube, which would be nice, because they don't like us at all. They've gone right up to the point of almost deplatforming us. They've demonetized us. If you see our videos, you know, everything's family friendly in here. You can show it to, you know, your wife, your parents, your priest, your pastor, whoever, and you know, it's nothing to be nothing bad. So anyway, thanks again, everybody. Take care, stay safe. We'll talk soon. Stay healthy.